Have you ever wondered why one death changed the entire world? And why a man who was beaten, rejected, and crucified is still remembered, followed, and worshipped today? Because this was never just a death. This was a rescue mission, and you were the reason. Long before the cross, before the pain, before the betrayal, it was already written. The Bible says in Isaiah chapter 53 that he would be despised and rejected, a man of sorrows, familiar with grief, wounded for our transgressions, and crushed for our iniquities. This was not an accident. This was design. This was love, planned in advance. Now imagine sitting at a table with people you love, people you trust, knowing this is your last night with them. Jesus sat with his disciples, calm on the outside but carrying something heavy within. He took bread, broke it, and said, "This is my body given for you." Then he took the cup and said, "This is my blood poured out for many." They heard him, but they did not understand, because sometimes truth is spoken clearly, yet it takes pain to fully understand it. Then he said something that changed the atmosphere instantly. "One of you will betray me." The room fell silent. Eyes moved from one face to another, and each man began to question himself. But one man already knew. Judas. The Bible says in Matthew chapter 26 that Judas went to the chief priests and agreed to betray Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. 30. Not because Jesus was worth little, but because the human heart, when not guarded, can trade even what is sacred. And here is the truth. Betrayal does not come from strangers. It comes from those who were once close. Later that night in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus did not perform miracles or preach sermons. He prayed. This was not a casual prayer. This was pressure. This was the moment where purpose meets pain. He said, "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not my will but yours be done." That is honesty, and that is surrender. Then everything changed. The quiet night was broken by footsteps, torches, and voices. Roman soldiers arrived with religious leaders, and Judas stepped forward, not with a weapon, but with a kiss. That is how betrayal works. It does not always look dangerous. Sometimes it looks familiar. Jesus did not run. He did not fight. He stepped forward and gave himself. Because no one was taking his life, he was giving it. Fear spread quickly. The disciples scattered, and Peter, the bold one who said he would never deny Jesus, faced his moment. 3 times he was asked if he knew him, and 3 times he said no. Just as it is written in Luke chapter 22, the rooster crowed, and Peter remembered, and his heart broke. Sometimes you do not know your weakness until pressure reveals it. Jesus was dragged from one place to another, from the Sanhedrin to Pontius Pilate, then to Herod Antipas, moving through a system full of judgment, but empty of justice. Pilate examined him and said, "I find no fault in him." But truth was not enough because the crowd wanted blood. They shouted louder and louder, "Crucify him!" And Pilate gave in, not because Jesus was guilty, but because people often choose approval over truth. Then the suffering began. They beat him, mocked him, spat on him, and placed a crown of thorns on his head, not gently, but forcefully, pressing deep into his skin as blood ran down his face. They laughed at him, calling him king, not in honor, but in mockery. The Bible says in Isaiah chapter 52 that his appearance was so disfigured, he no longer looked like a man. This was not symbolic suffering. This was real, physical, painful sacrifice. Then came the road to the cross. He carried the weight on a body already broken. Step after step, he moved forward. He fell, got up, and kept going. Because purpose will carry you when strength is gone. They reached Golgotha, the place of the skull, and there they nailed him to the cross. Hands and feet pierced, lifted between heaven and earth, rejected by men but still fulfilling heaven's plan. And even in that moment, he spoke, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Who forgives in that kind of pain? Only someone who is not thinking about himself. Darkness covered the land, and the earth trembled as creation responded to what was happening. Then he cried out, "It is finished." Not a cry of defeat, but a declaration that the work was complete. The debt of sin was paid in full. His body was taken down, wrapped, and placed in a tomb. A stone was rolled in front, sealed and guarded, and it seemed like hope had been buried. This is where many people stop, at what looks like the end. But God works in silence. Day 1 passed. Nothing happened. Day 2 passed. Still nothing. But on the 3rd day, everything changed. The stone was rolled away, not to let him out, but to show the world he was no longer there. The Bible says in Matthew chapter 28, "He is not here, for he is risen. Death could not hold him. The grave could not keep him. Sin could not defeat him. He rose, alive and victorious." And when he appeared to his disciples, everything changed. Fear turned into boldness, doubt turned into faith, and weakness turned into strength. Then he ascended, not in defeat, but in glory, returning to the Father and leaving behind a mission and a promise. And this is where it becomes personal. This was not just about him. This was about you, your mistakes, your guilt, your pain, your struggles. All of it was carried on that cross. What looked like defeat was actually victory. What looked like the end was actually the beginning. Because sometimes God allows the darkest moment to reveal the greatest purpose, and that victory is still available to you today. If this message spoke to you, take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it.